Hello. Hello. I am Alicia Richard, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the ultimate place where I talk about locks, life, and the Lord. So, in today's video, I am going to be walking you through the whole entire process of my locks, all the things. I will be talking about everything from day one. So if you are interested in lock extensions or just curious about it, then make sure like this video is for you. So I do have my tripod like in my hand today. So if it's a little shaky, please forgive me. However, I wanted to make sure that I recorded this content for today so that you all can have something to look at. So let's just do it like this. So what happened was, and I'm actually walking. So of course, if you haven't watched like my previous video, I do have a video where I do talk about like the lock extensions and the reasons why I got lock extensions. However, this video is not about that. Like this video is going to really talk about the whole thing as far as like what happened. So when I did my research on Instagram, and as I was doing my research on Instagram, I actually put in like lock extensions for sister lock extensions, and then I found my lock extensions consultant or loctician, if you would want to say that. And so once I found the loctician, what I did was I searched on her page for months. Like I searched under the business page for the longest amount of time before I decided that I wanted to make my decision. So as I was doing my research, I was zooming into like her content, zooming into the clients, trying to find her clients to see, like what their hair process really was. And I just kept watching. Like I just silently kept watching. I didn't specifically like anything, or sometimes I did, but I really just had like this business under the radar for like at least 2, 3, if not 4 months. So it was something that was definitely in the air. So after I was watching for a while, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and schedule a consultation. So before I reached out to her, I reached out to some other locticians, and they actually told me about the person that I went. So I actually went to North Carolina and I got it done. But before I went to North Carolina, it's a consultation. Like a consultation must be done in order to have lock extensions. So, with this company, not with all of them, but with this company. So, what I did was I went ahead and I arranged my consultation. Now, my consultation was a virtual consultation, and I was okay with that because the person that I went to was actually experienced, and I saw that they were experienced, and I saw that like they was doing lock extensions at least for about 5 or 6, if not 7 years. So the time of this business was actually there. So I didn't mind doing like a virtual consultations for the fact of them being like experienced when it comes to the lock extensions. So I did my virtual consultation. I actually showed her like my hair and how my hair was actually damaged from the color. And she also told me that that normally happens when locks get colored, is that they break, especially like certain colors, right? So for me, I don't know what everybody else does, but for me, the colors that I chose were like blonde and browns, and like my hair literally changed so much. So I was telling her about, how my hair changed, and she gave me options. So some of the options, she was like, all right, well, one of the things that you could do is you can just, like get extensions on the parts of your hair that were short, or you could go like fully like all out and get like some long extensions. Those weren't her words, those are my words. But she was just like, there, those are the options. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what, let's just put my hair back to where I think that it should be. So what it was is she gave me a price, like she gave me a quote, and I was like, okay. I was provided an invoice, and with that invoice, it was like how much the locks or the estimate that it would be. So what I had to do was confirm about what I wanted. After I got my invoice, the next step was to make like the payment, like the first payment, and then the rest is history. So after I made my payment, is I paid my deposit. My deposit secured my date because it was actually a real business. So my deposit secured my date, and then after I made my deposit, we also like talked again like a couple times via text, and also I sent like pictures, additional pictures of the color of my hair, and she actually told me, all right, well, if you get 10 inches, if you get 12 inches, I could have chosen like however many inches that I wanted to choose. So for some reason, I don't even know why, but I chose the 12 inches, and I probably should have went maybe, and I said this in my last video, that I probably could have gone maybe like 8, or I would say about 8. So after I was able to select like the hair length that I wanted, after I thought about it for a little while, I was like, you know what, I probably should have went shorter, but it was already too late. And I know that like as a business and as you are operating, it's certain things that you just can't do. So you really cannot change like what you want to do like at the last minute. So anyway, so what I did was I went ahead and selected the length that I wanted. And again, I like to live somewhat of a low-key life, so getting attention for having long hair, I don't really care about it as much, because now people are coming to me like, oh girl, your hair is so long, and I'm like, oh, thank you. But it's really for me to really just get adjusted to it. So anyway, so I chose the 12 inches. Now, as far as how long my hair was before I got the extensions, I would say that my hair was probably about 10 inches right before I got the extensions. And there were like shorter parts of my hair that was like 3 inches, 5 inches. So it was really like a zigzag. So after I selected my hair, she was like, okay, well, I'll match the color of the ends of your hair to match the lock extensions. And that's what she did. Like, she matched my hair. So I booked my appointment. So I had already known like 2.5 months before I actually went to my appointment. So all the times that I was creating videos and all of that, like, I already knew. It wasn't like a last minute decision, because I already submitted like my deposit fee and all of that. So once I done my deposit, and then I talked to her about the length that I wanted, after I did all my confirmations, I actually traveled. So from where I live to where I actually got my hair done was like almost a 3-hour drive. So that morning, my appointment, I believe, started at like 8 o'clock and it ended at like 7. So the first day I sat for like 10 or 11 hours. And then the second day was about 12 hours. And then the third day was probably a lot longer. Now, I honestly think that my hair, normally she gave me a 3-day span of time to get my hair done. So it was estimated that it would take 3 days. Sometimes I would see how my hair could have taken 4 days, because that last day I was in her shop until like about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we started at about 8, if I'm not mistaken. So the last day was very much so a long day. So some of the things that I done like while I was getting my extensions in is, I watched YouTube, I watched a couple movies, we talked just a little bit, but it wasn't as much. And also I really just like played Candy Crush. Like, I just did graduate school homework. It was just certain things that I just done like while I was there in the chair. I'm really not a snacker, so I wasn't doing like a lot of snacks, but like I had something here and there. Also, like during that course of time, because the drive was like 3 hours long, like one way, and I didn't want to drive 6 hours within a day, so I spent the night at a hotel. So I stayed 2 nights at the hotel, and then I had to be away from my family. So my husband was like, he didn't say anything, he was just like, oh, okay, well, don't come on the road if like you're tired or whatever, just get a hotel. So I stayed in a hotel 2 nights, and then of course I paid. So once I got there the first day, what I had to do was sign like a contract, or like it was basically a legal document, and it talked about like the extensions. It talked about, I was provided for like directions on like how to maintain and make sure that none of my extensions would come out. So it was really like an agreement, like a legal contract, like an agreement for real, because I had to sign it, date it, and all of that. So I would say like some of the things, and I don't have that agreement with me, like, but off of the top of my head, it was like making sure that I don't put like certain products in my hair. Make sure that I have like clarifying shampoo. When I do wash my hair, I must wash my hair with clarifying shampoo. So I asked them what did they recommend, and then I was able to put it in my Amazon cart. The shampoo that they recommend. Also, I am to like mist my hair with water like 2 to 3 times a week. So that is what I do. I do mist my hair about 2 to 3 times a week. And when I do it, I don't like saturate my hair in water, but I just missed it because that's what the direction said. And it was also like no like hot oil treatments, no heat of any kind. So like with my lock extensions, I'm not too like, and it is human hair. It is 100% human hair. It is 100% human hair. However, these are just some of the directions, especially when it comes to like adding, right? So when I talk about extensions, is basically my natural hair is attached to the human hair. So in essence, I don't need to damage the link that holds it together. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be damaged. So that's nothing that I want to do with the money that I paid, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you are paying close attention to what you do with your hair. So I would honestly say, to be honest, with the lock extensions, it's almost like, but not like, and hear me out when I say this. When you have sister locks, you, or traditional sister locks without extensions, it is all your hair. Like, you do have to make sure that you have like a good shampoo, right? However, even when you have sister locks, they don't want you to like, like, you're not really supposed to use like any conditioners or anything, like any hard oils and stuff on your hair for a while until it locks. So the directions that she gave me was very similar to the directions that I would tell someone that has sister locks. Now, when it comes to washing my hair, she didn't tell me that I had to band it or anything. However, the next time that I do wash my hair, I probably will band it, just because like I'm just like so careful. Now, when it comes like to the length of my hair in this season, in this time, I am still adjusting to this long hair. A lot of times, this is how I wear my hair. I wear my hair back because I don't want people to be like, oh my gosh, girl, and I'm on the camera like most of the day anyway. And even when I'm in my community, like, you'll be able to see my hair when I turn around. And that's it. But for the most part, I do keep my hair back. Now, the question is, have I lost locks? And the answer is yes, I have. Now, that is expected. Now, I got my locks of September, I would say like August 30th, August 31st, September the 1st. So it took me like those 3 days. So within that 3 days of time, right now, when I'm recording this, is September the 24th. So I've had them for about 23 days. So it is expected to lose locks. Like, they even said, like, yeah, like your hair it has to go through a locking process when it comes to that. So some of your locks may come out. And then what I did was I found the locks. Some of them I didn't find. So I would say that I lost I lost 2 of them during retightening, because I didn't go back yet, but I am scheduling my appointment because she wants me to come back so that she could kind of like check on my hair and stuff. So I do need to go back so that I could check, but it hasn't been 6 weeks yet since I've had it, so I do need to make an appointment. So 2 of them came out during retightenings, and then I think like another 2 came out like just kind of just random. So thus far, I will honestly say that I've lost about 5 locks. However, what I did was I went on YouTube University, and Okay, so this is my story now. This is my story. There are certain things that I know I can do, and there are certain things that I know I can't do. I cannot retie my own locks. I cannot do my whole full head, and I will not even try. However, I can do some repairs. So when I go, by the time I go, if I can find the locks that I lost, she does have on her website where you could like go and purchase like the hair, and I will probably end up doing that only because for one, I do not have the time to go back and forth to North Carolina, and it's not in my schedule. So your girl, I went on YouTube University and I saw what they were doing, and I already had the tools in my house because I was going to 9 times out of 10 like do the locks myself, and then myself and my God was like, Leisha, you know that ain't nothing you want to do, baby. So just go on ahead and let the lady do your hair, because I actually have the weave and everything, because I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. And I'm glad I didn't do it because I see how long it took, and I wanted it done the right way, right? However, I can repair a lock. So what I normally do a lot of times with my hair is I go through, because the last thing I want to do, because I am a trainer on my job and I am in front of people all the time. The last thing I want to do is be walking around and I got a weave hanging out. No. So this is one of the cons, if I could say, and I'll come up with a cons video, but this is one of the cons about having lock extensions. And this is just for me, I don't know what anybody else may experience, but I'm like a worrier. And I'm like, oh Lord, I don't want to be going somewhere and my hair coming out. Or I'm going somewhere and my weave look like it's about to be detached or something. I don't know, but I just don't want that problem. So I do check my hair periodically throughout the day. Some of the other things that I do, and I'll make sure that I do a video about this, but I do check my hair and I do sleep with a bonnet on because it is a lot of hair. So lately I do sleep with a bonnet on like a lot, or every night. Like there hasn't been a night that went by that I didn't have on a bonnet. So with that being said, I am enjoying this experience. However, I am learning how to style my hair, because when I put it up in a ponytail, I just don't want my hair to be shifting or pulling and all of that. But as far as the process, I am satisfied with the decision that I made. The only thing that I would do differently is I would have went a little bit shorter. Or the last thing that I would, because now that I know that I am, which I know that I was a warrior prior, but I probably would have just like repaired like the hair strands that were lost instead of just like doing the whole head. And that's only because, like how I said, like I don't want to be walking around and be like, oh girl, weaves on the floor. So anyway, those are the things that I would change. Now, as far as like the services that I was provided with my lock extensions, I'm very happy with that. Like I'm very happy with the way that my hair looks blended in and it doesn't look like artificial to me. So I am happy with the services that I received. I just, like it's just my decisions again, y'all. It's just my decisions. But I really do like that I'm here. It's just that how am I going to navigate, right? How am I going to style? Those are some of the things that I do have to figure out. But overall, I would say that, I feel really good walking around, and I know I'm gonna feel a lot better when my hair locks together. That is really going to make me feel happy that I and not worry. So the only thing that I have to do now is like my checkup appointment, where they would check on my locks, reinforce it, repair it as much as they can. And I am sure by the time I go back to them, they're not gonna have to repair as much. And if they do repair some of the locks, it's because I couldn't find them. But I have been reattaching the locks myself. Yes, I have. And I did pretty good to enforce them. I know I did, because I tried to put on them bad boys and they ain't going nowhere. But overall, though, now that I could truly say that I've experienced all the journeys, I've experienced the journey and I know what it feels like. So now it's just navigating and keep on going. So I'll be doing some styles. However, the styles that I do for my hair will be like simple styles right now until I could get to the place where I'm like, all right, I could I can curl my hair, but it's just like I got to be careful of the products that I put on it because I don't want my locks to slip, just like how any locks would do. So those are just some of the things that I should be mindful of. And I just wanted to come and just do this video to let y'all know how things were going and behind the scenes. So this is my hair here, and these are the lock extensions there. And overall, I'm pretty happy. I just need to learn how to style this length of hair, and I just need to go on. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments below, and I'll make sure that I cover those questions when it comes to the lock extensions to the best of my ability and to my knowledge and to my experience. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.